Hello, my name is Todd Bircher, and I'm the pipe major for the Emergency Service Pipes and Drums located in Austin, Texas. The band is comprised solely of emergency responders such as police officers, firefighters, and EMTs. Allow me to begin by saying that I am in no way an expert piper. I am, on the other hand, like you, an emergency service musician who just wishes to become a better piper. To that end, this class was specifically designed for adult learners who have had little to no formal musical education. It was created for pipers and is designed to only teach you that which is necessary to become a better bagpiper. The goal of the class is simply to help you better understand the music that we play. I created this presentation by collecting and combining information off of the internet, magazine articles, some music theory books, as well as just knowledge I've gained over the years. With that being said, let's begin.
Music theory is the field of study that deals with how music works. It examines the language and notation of music. It seeks to identify patterns and structures across or within genres, styles, or historical periods.
To understand music theory, we need to understand more than just the written music. We need to understand how music works. To do that, we'll be discussing the following issues as they relate to the Great Highland Bagpipe: pitch, key, staff anatomy, the scale, beat, or what's known as pulse in bagpipe tunes, time signatures, and types of tunes.
The first issue we need to discuss is that of pitch. All sounds are at some frequency or pitch, whether they be high like that of a flute or low like that of a bass drum. Each musical note corresponds to a particular frequency, which can be measured in hertz. In musical terms, lower notes produce lower hertz, while high notes produce high hertz. A good way to illustrate pitch is to look at a piano keyboard. The lowest note on a concert piano plays at 27.5 hertz. The highest note at 4,186 hertz. What is known as concert A plays at 440 hertz. A modern bagpipe's low A, which is the equivalent to the piano's concert A, usually tunes between 470 and 480 hertz. Again, concert A plays at 440 hertz. We just learned that the bagpipe's corresponding A, known as low A, plays between 470 and 480 hertz. We'll discuss this disparity at length later in the presentation. The musical terms sharp and flat refer to pitch. The pitch someone is playing at is relative to the notes or scale they are playing. For instance, if I'm tuning the pipers in the band and I tell them they're sharp, they are playing at a higher pitch than I am. Correspondingly, if they're flat, they are playing at a lower pitch than I am. Musical instruments play a variety of pitches. All of these pitches are dependent upon oscillations or vibrations. Vibrations of air, or reeds, or strings, or stretched height in the case of drums. The longer the string, such as a guitar or violin, or bigger the height, as is the case with drums, the lower the pitch. The shorter the string, or shorter distance the air travels in a wind instrument, the higher the pitch. A guitar player can raise the pitch of his instrument by moving his fingers up the frets, which shortens the strings. A trombone player can produce a lower note by pushing out the slide, creating a further distance for the air to travel. In sum, a shorter distance causes a higher pitch, and a longer distance causes a lower pitch. A good way to remember all this is short equals sharp and long equals low. When thinking of pitch, consider the slide whistle. Just like a trombone, when the slide is pushed out, it creates a longer column of air, thereby lowering or flattening the sound. When the slide is pulled in, it creates a shorter column of air, which in turn sharpens the sound. Applying what we've learned, which string on the harp will play the highest note? Which bodhran will play the lowest? Insomuch as bagpipes are concerned, and keeping in mind the idea of short equals sharp and long equals low, the shorter distance the air travels from the reed to the given hole in the chanter, the higher the pitch, and conversely, the further the air travels, the lower the pitch. Again, applying what we've learned, when pipers place tape on the top of chanter holes to tune them, does that sharpen or flatten the note? In order to flatten the overall pitch of the chanter, we raise the reed in the chanter well. To sharpen it, we sink the reed. Likewise, when a drone is pulled down on the tuning pin, or shortened, it sharpens the tone. Or when pushed up, it flattens the tone. The drone on the left is tuning too high on the tuning pin. Would you lengthen or shorten the drone reed to bring it down? You would need to lengthen the drone reed. The easiest way to remember this is simply to adjust the tuning screw on the drone reed in the same direction you want the drone to go. Considering the drone on the right, by adding hemp to the chanter, you have now made the reed flatter. Therefore, you will have to raise the drone, remember long low, to equal the newly flattened chanter reed. Orthodontic rubber bands are often used by pipers to make a hard reed easier to play. Will the rubber band on this chanter reed cause it to sharpen or flatten? As is true with everything, there's a payoff. Yes, the reed is now easier to play, but placing the rubber band on the chanter reed causes it to sharpen a little bit. Again, if you simply remember short equals sharp and long equals low, you've got half the battle won regarding pitch and tuning. At some point in your piping careers, you'll be asked by a mainstream musician, what key does the bagpipe play in? Remember earlier when we discussed the fact that our low A plays a concert piano's B flat. Because of this fact, you'll hear many pipers answer, we play in the key of B flat, when in reality the key of an instrument is not necessarily the pitch to which it is tuned. As is true with most music, the key depends on the tune we're playing. Some tunes are in different keys than other tunes. The Highland bagpipe is what is known as a transposing instrument. This means that the pitch at which the music is written is not the same as the pitch it sounds at. This is fairly common in music. Most brass instruments and several wind instruments, such as the clarinet and saxophone, are transposing instruments. The bagpipe scale does not match any of the scales used in modern Western concert music. The scale on the chanter is most often played in what is known as mixolydian mode, which has a flattened seventh or leading tone. The best answer to satisfy a mainstream musician is that we play in A major with a flattened seventh, and it's about a half step sharp. Obviously, you wouldn't want to perform with a mainstream musician without having first practiced together.